So this is PrepTest 141, Section 1, Passage 1. This is a science passage about natural selection and whether it explains everything in biology. Difficulty level here is pretty low. The structure is straightforward, but students consistently miss the author's actual target, and that costs them points. This is a takedown passage. The author is dismantling one specific claim, that natural selection accounts for everything in evolution, not natural selection itself. Just the idea that it's the whole story. And that distinction runs the entire passage here. The most important paragraph is paragraph 4. That's where the hardest questions are going to come from, and we're going to get there. But first, paragraph 1. In paragraph 1, the author picks a fight. But notice how it starts. The author opens with Darwin himself saying natural selection is not the exclusive means of modification. And that is not a polite introduction, that is a chess move. The author is using Darwin's own words against people who call themselves strict Darwinians. Before the author argument even begins, the author has already framed these guys as contradicting the person they claim to follow. So read paragraph 1 carefully because that's the setup. Then paragraph 2 defines adaptation, organisms shaped by their environment for better reproductive success. Then it states the strict constructionist claim. Everything is adaptation. And then the last sentence flips it around. The author says nature is full of examples that don't fit. That sentence is the thesis. Everything after it is evidence. You don't want to blow past this. Now, paragraph 3 is evidence round 1, neutral mutations. Now, here is all you need from this paragraph. Some DNA changes don't help reproduction and don't hurt it either. They just drift through populations over time. They change species, but natural selection didn't cause them and can't explain why they stuck around. And the biology might sound dense here, but the point is dead simple. Not every trait exists because it was useful. Some traits are just there. Now, you want to move through paragraph 3 at a steady pace. Grab the concept, don't get bogged down in the details. Then you slow down for paragraph 4, because that's where students lose points. The author brings up the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. And at first, this reads like a straightforward cause and effect story. Asteroid hits, climate changes, big animals die, small animals survive, mammals win. Fine. But the author isn't telling this story to explain what happened. The author is telling it to expose a hole in the strict constructionist logic. Now, here is the hole itself. Strict constructionists say species succeed because they adapted to their conditions. But mammals did not adapt to post-asteroid conditions. Those conditions did not exist yet. Mammals were small because they could not compete with dinosaurs at full size. The smallness just happened to save them when the asteroid hit. The author calls it dumb luck, and that phrase is doing serious work. It means the mammal survival was an accident. Natural selection didn't plan for it. You can't adapt to a disaster that didn't happen yet. Now, if you skim paragraph 4, you're going to think it's about why dinosaurs went extinct, but it's not. It's about why the explanation for mammals surviving breaks the strict constructionist model. And that's what the questions are going to ask you about. Now, the key move here is the gap between what actually happened in evolution and what the strict constructionists claim happened. The author gives 2 examples where things turned out a certain way for reasons natural selection can't touch. Neutral mutations persist without any survival advantage. Mammals survived by coincidence, not design. Same target, 2 different angles. Now, the author's stance here is clear. Natural selection is real, it matters, but it's not everything. The strict constructionists took one piece of Darwin's theory and made it the whole theory. And the author thinks that's a mistake and points out Darwin himself would have disagreed. Now, here's the trap. Students will walk out of this passage thinking the author is critical of natural selection, but the author is not. The author is critical of those who overextend it. And if you confuse those 2 things, you're going to pick the wrong answer on main point and attitude questions. The wrong answers will say the author doubts natural selection or wants to replace it. The right answer will say the author thinks it's been applied too broadly. Now, before you hit the questions, make sure you know these 3 things. First, why does the author quote Darwin in the very first paragraph? 2, what exactly makes neutral mutations a problem for the strict constructionist view? And 3, why does the word dumb luck matter more than anything else in paragraph 4?